As the candidates prepare to battle it out tonight, a new 2020 poll shows where all the contenders currently stand. In a Quinnipiac University poll, Senator Elizabeth Warren leads the pack at 30%, with former Vice President Joe Biden in second at 27% and Senator Bernie Sanders in third at 11%.
Joining us with an update from the ground in Ohio about tonight's event and how this poll reflects the current state of the race is Fox News political reporter Paul Steinhauser. Paul, welcome back to Rising.
Always great joining you guys. And here we are, Otterbein University. Got the Student Center right behind me, and behind that, that's where the big action is going to be tonight. So going to be exciting here. Big debate.
So what can we expect? We talked a little bit about Elizabeth Warren last segment, but what can we expect with regard to impeachment? And how is Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and all of that controversy that's wrapped into the impeachment battle, how can we expect that to figure in tonight's debate?
Well, first of all, impeachment obviously is going to dominate the discussion, right? It's going to overshadow everything else. The last two debates, it was all about health care. It was about Medicare for all versus the public option. That was the first big battle of the last two debates. Doubt that's going to happen tonight, right? There's going to be questions about impeachment. Obviously, all the contenders, all 12 candidates, the record-setting 12 candidates on the stage, feel the same way about impeachment. They think Donald Trump should be impeached and removed from office. So not a lot of policy difference. But, yeah, you just mentioned the big thing is Hunter Biden. And, of course, just hours before the debate, he's on national TV. He breaks his silence. Is it going to be an issue that the other candidates, especially the rivals on the far ends, the candidates in the lower tier that need to make a splash, are they're going to go on the attack against Joe Biden? That would help their stature, but at the same time, that would play right into Donald Trump's playbook. And I don't think any Democrat on the stage or any Democrat in the party wants that to happen. That's the big question mark going into tonight's debate.
Yeah, another issue that may be front and center really for the first time in these debates is foreign policy, with whatever is unfolding in Syria happening right now. At the same time, you've got Tulsi Gabbard back on the stage. She is really the candidate who has put foreign policy front and center the most in terms of her campaign. How do you expect all of that to play out?
It's a great point. Foreign policy has basically been relegated to the back burner in the first couple debates. Usually it's the last 10 minutes when nobody's really watching anymore. That won't be the case this time, as you mentioned, because of the Syria story and also to a degree what's going on in the Ukraine crisis, which sparked this impeachment inquiry. It's going to be front and center. Who does that help? Well, obviously it helps Biden, right? Former vice president for 8 years, did a lot. It's his wheelhouse, and in the Senate, he was on the Foreign Relations Committee for decades. So it helps him, but who else does it help? You mentioned Gabbard. She's been making a lot of this and getting the U.S. out of foreign entanglements. She's also one of only two candidates on the stage tonight that has military service. She served in Iraq, and she still serves in the Hawaii National Guard. And the other one I think you should keep your eyes on when it comes to foreign policy is Pete Buttigieg. You know, of course, he spent time in the Navy Reserves, served in Afghanistan as well. So I think it gives them a little opportunity to raise their stature. You mentioned Gabbard. She, of course, is the biggest question mark, I think, going into tonight. She threatened to boycott the debate. Obviously, she forgot about that yesterday morning, and she'll be here. But she's very unpredictable. She's gone on the attack before in these debates. Think Detroit back in July when she kind of dismantled Kamala Harris. What will she do tonight? Who will she go after? A lot of people are scratching their heads and wondering what will happen.
Yeah, she's fierce. And you're based in New Hampshire. What do you see on the trail with her out there?
She's got a devoted following up there. You know, she's not having mass rallies or anything like that, but there are a lot of people that are intrigued by Tulsi Gabbard and what she's talking about. And, you know, you see her in the polls in New Hampshire. She's doing okay, 4 or 5%, maybe even 6% in some surveys, ahead of a lot of people that have a lot more name recognition than Tulsi Gabbard. As you mentioned, she didn't make the last debate. She's back on the stage, and I think she's hungry for some attention. She may not make the next debate either. That's, for a lot of these candidates, this may be the last chance to be in front of that large national audience that could range anywhere from, 10 to 15 million. So they need to make a splash if this is going to be their last chance on the debate stage.
That's a good point.
Paul, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to ask you, is this the last shot for any of these folks who are not the top three, right? Who are not Warren, Biden, and Bernie? Is this really their last shot? Folks like Andrew Yang, Tulsi. I mean, do they have to make a huge splash tonight? I mean, or are we going to start seeing some of these guys drop out if they don't manage to grab all of the headlines after this debate?
No, it's a great point. To date right now, for the November debate, which will be in Atlanta, they've raised the thresholds again. 8 candidates have qualified now, including Yang. But for the others on the stage tonight, think of Julian Castro, and a Tulsi Gabbard. No guarantees that they're going to make that debate stage. Even some of the bigger names, like a Cory Booker, the senator from New Jersey, and Amy Klobuchar, the senator from Minnesota, they're also right now fighting to get on that next debate stage. If they don't make it, yeah, that could be a big issue. Some of these candidates could need some more money to continue on, and getting on that debate stage, getting that attention is a huge factor.
Yeah, Yang just raised $10 million. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. One who's another newcomer to the stage tonight, Tom Steyer, billionaire known for his impeachment ads. He spent lots of money to get up there onto the stage tonight. What do you think his performance is going to be like?
I asked him last night. He's staying in my hotel, so I had a chance over a few beers. I was drinking the beers. I don't know what he was drinking, so I don't want to say it was beer. Listen, will he bring up impeachment? Of course he will. He's been talking about impeachment for 2-3 years, and now I think he's going to take credit for everybody coming his way. At one time, there was a lot of pushback from Democrats on the Hill against Tom Steyer and what he was doing. I think he'll take some credit for that and pat himself on the back. But he also wants to talk a lot of issues, especially global warming, climate change. That's one of the issues that he's been touting for quite some time. But the problem with tonight's debate for people who want to talk about the other issues, again, is will impeachment dominate everything else, or are they only going to talk about it maybe for the first 15-20 minutes and then move on? We'll find out tonight.
And Paul, what about the candidates who didn't even make this stage? You got Michael Bennet, Steve Bullock, John Delaney, Tim Ryan. This is his home state of Ohio. He's not going to be up there. I mean, how much longer are they going to hang in there?
Part of it is money. Do they have enough money to continue on? John Delaney obviously does. He's worth $200 million. He's spending his own money. Bennett was just up in New Hampshire. I had a chance to chat with him and Bullock, Steve Bullock, the Montana governor, last week. And both were downplaying the significance of the debates, saying they really don't matter. Well, I don't know if I buy that. I don't know if you buy that either. It's hard to continue on if you're not in that spotlight. But right now, these are smaller campaigns. They're not spending a lot of money on big staff because they don't have big staff. They're not spending a lot of money on TV commercials because they're not going up with them. I think some people are surprised. They thought the field would be winnowed even more. We still have 18 candidates, and we may have them, maybe a good amount going into the end of the year.
All right, Paul, thanks so much. Always appreciate it.
Always fun joining you guys. Thank you.
Coming up on Rising, while national attention is centered on the 2020 circus, a crisis has unfolded in Syria since American troops have withdrawn from that region.
Michael Brooks describes in a recent piece how the decision by President Trump has allowed Turkey to destroy the dreams of the Kurds. When Rising continues.